Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new Crafty Simulations, press the wrong button there, flight simulator video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Oh, how to start this flight simulator. Oh, the joys. Right, today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to be featuring an aircraft that actually comes with a flight simulator. We are featuring the Cessna 152 Aerobat, and we're going to take it on a little flight. We're going to go out of our usual place here at RAF Waddington, and we're going to fly over to a small local airfield, which is home to a glider operations, I suppose you want to call it, in Curtin and Lindsey, which is also in Lincolnshire. It's a place where I want to go and reel, to take photography, take photos, and I thought it'd be a good little flight to take this aircraft. Now, there is one thing that's different about this aircraft than when it featured quite a few videos ago last year, and the fact is I've actually changed the sounds of this aircraft. Now, the sounds that come with it are fully acceptable for a aircraft that comes with the flight simulator. However, these ones now have been changed for the sounds that are created by Boris's Audio Works. So these sounds have all been tweaked and upgraded, and to be honest with you, they sound absolutely fantastic for a Cessna 152. So we're going to have to listen to what I would say is quite a very good, accurate rendition of the Cessna. Now, also, we would also be running a little nav map. I've been featuring it now on a couple of videos. I'm not going to be featuring it in this video, basically because I want to use another navigational tool, and that is the GTN 750. Now, this aircraft does not come with a GTN 750, however, I am going to put it on the simulator because I can run a separate program, which is the GTN 750 navigational system, a system that I actually quite like. So, if you haven't seen the Cessna 152, would scoff at it because it is a aircraft that comes with a flight simulator, and let's be honest, there's plenty of different other GA aircraft out there that are very good. Well, to be quite frank, this one actually is pretty good. Even though, like I say, it comes with the flight simulator, it is a very good looking and good sounding aircraft. It's what we expect. I keep saying this in all videos. We come to expect now aircraft that are very, very well created, very realistic, and we get this with this aircraft. And remember, this comes with the flight simulator itself. Good reflections on the wing there, the underside of the wing. We can see rivets and the divots and the dimples and all the rest of the stuff on the wings. You know, it's not as smooth as one might be led to believe. But yeah, it's a very good looking aircraft from the exterior. So let's move inside and we shall start up the aircraft. So here we are in the cockpit of the Cessna 152, the one that comes with the flight simulator. So it's basic. A Cessna 152 is about as basic as an aircraft as you could possibly get. This is an aircraft that's used for, training, for taking your first flights. You can carry, in this case, one person, one passenger. We do have space in the back for some luggage, which we do not have. A weird thing with this aircraft is the fact that if you actually look on the outside, we have a passenger, and we go on the inside, he ain't there. Now, I've tried to remove him with the weight system, going into the weight system and actually removing it. Even if you put the weight at 0 for the passenger, for some reason, he's still there with the external view. So, like I say, we don't need to worry about that too much because we're not going to be dealing with it externally. But other than that, we have quite a good aircraft here in Flight Simulator. So, let's get this. No, don't want to press that button. It's been a while since I've been flying the flight simulator, I've got to say. So, let's turn head tracking is on, parking brake is set and on. Just trying to get a little bit more comfortable in my seat. So we do not have a separate prop pitch for this aircraft. So batteries are coming on. Nav lights and beacon lights are coming on. Show everybody we are a live aircraft. Just checking everything is okie dokie. Mags are coming on. Parking brake is set. Clear on the left side, clear on the right side. Let's start her up. And as you can hear, a very good sounding aircraft. I just want to check the audio levels and I hope that you can hear me over the aircraft a little bit. So let's bring that down a little bit. Yes, there we go. That's probably about right. It's quite a noisy aircraft. I like that. I do like a good sounding aircraft. So let's load up the GTN 750 and we shall do it with this one, little app. Let it initialize. We could use a navigation system here. We do have a very basic Bendix, I believe, system. This is our transponder. We have two comms channels and one navigation system, which would be included this instrument here. Like I say, the 152 is a very basic aircraft, but you can use correct navigational systems like VOR to VOR systems. We are not going to be too worried about that. Right, so flight plan. Set origin. Origin is here, so that is Echo Golf X-Ray Wilco. Destination is Echo Golf Kilo X-Ray Curtin Lindsay glider base. And we want to add a waypoint, insert after, which is Echo Golf X-Ray Papa, which is Scampton. So this is going to be a 9.3 nautical mile flight. Quite a little flight, but, you know, it's what we like. Shut that down, open up the map. We've got our magenta line, which shows where we're going to be going. Pretty much a straight flight, actually. We will be departing out of runway 20, which is out behind us, heading out over Lincoln, over the cathedral, out over Scampton, probably do a lap of Scampton, and then carry on over to our second part of our flight, over to the to Curtin Lindsay. Curtin Lindsay is a grass airfield, so it'll be taking off on the tarmac and landing on the grass. So let's get that centralised a bit. Squawk code will be 7000 and we will be on standby. Pitot heat will come on when we get towards the runway. Taxi lights are coming on. Flaps are coming down to one stage, even though really we don't really need them here. Like I say, audio has been improved. Everything from the flap movement, flap travel, buttons, switches, all the rest of that good stuff by the Boris Audio Works sound pack. So let's get this ready and rolling. Coming off the parking brake, let's go. weird things that Flight Simulator does. I started the Flight Simulator up for this video, and I haven't been really doing too much flight simming over the last couple of days. But for some reason, I managed to have I can't know exactly what the option is called, but it's where it talks to you and tells you what the options is. So, you know, you've got this audio setup, and like I say, I'd never clicked on it, but mysteriously I managed to get it as an option. Very weird. So we're just going to position ourselves here for an engine run-up test. Just run over towards the side and position ourselves so that if we do blow anything, it's behind us and there's nobody behind us. Good. Parking brake is set, coming up to 2000 RPM. Mag check. Obviously we can't exactly play with a propeller pitch because we don't have one. So landing lights coming on, P2V coming on. Transponder now set to on and reporting altitude. Need to really swap the CDI over to GPS. So, using the GTN 750, before we get going, I will just go through it a little bit. We have obviously set up a course and we have a magenta line to follow. However, because I've set the CDI to GPS, you may notice we now have a GPS icon indicator here in the OBS navigational dial here, and basically what this means is this lines will intersect with this course. So if I didn't have the GTN 750 loaded, I could still fly the magenta line, but by lining up the white lines here. So because we're so close, obviously there's not much deviation, but it's a very interesting way of touching into navigation in the Cessna 152. Like I say, it is a basic aircraft. So once again, we wouldn't be talking to ATC, not in a flight simulator, because it is absolutely pants. But if it was realistic, it'll be something like Waddington Tower. This is Alpha Golf Sierra, taking runway 20 for straight out departure. I wish that Flight Simulator would get ATC up and running, but no, it's not going to be, I'm afraid. Line up on runway 20, parking brake is set, mixture is full, don't need to worry about prop pitch, gear is fixed, flaps at one stage, landing lights on, pitot heat is on, strobe lights are coming on. Let's go. Coming up. Very quick and easy departure out of Waddington. the 152 not needing too much runway space. Don't need the landing lights anymore. So as I said, while I was on the ground, the navigation obviously we are now trying to intersect the magenta line. We're not going to use any autopilot today, it's not worth it. But because I've switched the CDI over to GPS in the 750, I can use, like I said, these crosses to line up with the magenta line, which is what we're heading for now. And as you can see, the middle line is slowly moving over to the centre of the instrument. Obviously we have a visual indicator with the GTN 750 addition to the flight simulator. This is a payware version, and to be honest with you, I do like the 750. It really does everything that you need. Not only is it a GPS, but it also has communications, navigations, transponder, and 1,000,001 other options. I may one day go into a video just on the 750. There we are, nice and level, just trimming the aircraft out. And this is the great thing about, well, this particular aircraft. If you're interested in VFR navigation and GA aviation, there isn't much, better an aircraft than the Cessna 152. It is a very, very good aircraft. Now, there are payware versions of the Cessna 152, I believe. But this aircraft comes with the flight simulator, and this is where you will find out if you have a liking, appreciation of general aviation. And to me, I do. I like to feature a lot of general aviation aircraft. These are aircraft that I could possibly fly in real, or at the very least be flown around in. And like I say, this aircraft is not an A2A spec aircraft, it's not a Coronado spec aircraft, it's not a Just Flight spec aircraft, but it is in the flight sim already, and a couple of extra payware options in the Boris Audio Works sound pack and the GTN 750, and it is a very good basic aircraft that can teach you the basics of navigation and single engine aircraft operation. And it is really good. I like it. It's a really good aircraft. You may be wondering why the message button is flickering, and this is one of those things. Obviously any messages pop up, obviously it's telling us that we are arriving at Echo Golf X-Ray Papa, i.e. RAF Scampton, which is just under the nose. It also will tell us a course to steer if we are not roughly close to the magenta line. At the moment we're fairly close to it, but if I turned away from it and headed in another direction, to get back to my magenta line, it will give me a course to steer and navigate myself back to the magenta line. So it is a very, very good navigational system. There are real GPS units you can get for Flight Simulator. Obviously all the different versions of the navigation systems you can buy. You can actually buy a GTN 750 unit. It's not the real thing, but it is a unit with buttons, and you can plug it in. I believe it's a USB connection, and it communicates with the Flight Simulator and allows you to actually physically touch all these buttons. They are touchscreen buttons, and instead of using my mouse here, it would actually physically be connected to the Flight Simulator. Quite expensive, not overly expensive. I haven't got a price at the top of my head at the moment, and I can't remember the company that actually makes them, but it is something that if you want to go for the realism, and like I say, we have joysticks, we have throttles, we have rudder pedals, we have TrackIR, we have all sorts of additions to the Flight Simulator. Well, now you can get extra GPS units. So because we have now crossed onto our second part of our journey, the second line has gone magenta, but what we're going to do is a little lap of RAF Scampton. RAF Scampton, iconic World War II V-bomber base, based in Lincolnshire. Not used anymore. Was the home of the RAF's Red Hour display team. Now they've moved over to RAF's Waddington. This is a scenery pack I believe I got off flightsim.to. For those that would like to know what RAF Scampton is now, obviously an RAF base, disused RAF base, is very hard to get rid of, but like I say, it is not a live air base anymore. You cannot fly into Scampton, the runway is not in service, and well, politically speaking, at the moment it is planned that RAF Scampton will become a home for, shall we say, people that have got into this country, and I'll leave it at that. There was plans to make RAF Scampton a historic location for collections, museum style collections. I don't know whether the runway would have stayed live, but it would have been sort of like Duxford is down in Cambridge. A home for collections, a home for museums, but unfortunately, even though that plan was quite far along and money was allocated and it was going to go ahead over the next year or so. They was going to start bringing in collections. There was a museum based here already. I don't know whether it's 617 Squadrons Museum or Scampton's in general. There was a fire engine, I believe, museum based here as well. But it was not to be. The government decided to do what the government does best. So, like I said, I'm not going to make any song and dance about that. That's not what this video is about. But, yeah, there's RAF Scampton for you. So we're going to rejoin our Magenta course and head over to Curtin and Lindsey. Like I say, it's a glider base now. It's an ex-RAF base itself. The runways are, it has 2 runways. Not technically 4 runways because you can land either way. But they're all grass. And the runway we're going to be using, there's a very interesting hill in the middle of it, which is right at the touchdown point. So the ground comes up to meet you along the way. Now I noticed that I keep an eye on the Flight Simulator pages on Facebook, the community pages, even if I can say it right, and obviously being a keen aviation person and a keen use of the Flight Simulator, I did notice the issues that people have when Nvidia decide to drop a driver upgrade to for all of us to download. Now, quite frankly, to be honest with you, I've been looking, I haven't had too many issues, but the amount of issues you hear about Nvidia drivers in the Flight Simulator ruining your performance and whatnot, but I must admit, over the last few driver upgrades, I have had really no issues, and to be honest with you, the Flight Simulator looks absolutely astonishing. I can remember the days of FSX and FS2004 and the Flight Simulator not looking, you know, anywhere like this. I said at the start of the video as well about the state of the air traffic control here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's terrible. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's one of the worst points of the Flight Simulator. It's still roughly based on the same setup that FSX had. Yes, the sound quality has gone up a little bit, but it's not good. It really is not. But there is a program that hopefully is coming out this year, and I've forgotten what it's called now. I'll try and link it in the description. But it is promising to be a massive upgrade on the standard ATC here in Flight Simulator. I've watched the videos of it, the trailers of it, you know, the work that the company has done so far, and it is light years ahead of what is currently available for us. Obviously, you know, I mean, there are people here that are going to go, well, you know, go VATSIM if you want to go realism. And yes, correct, VATSIM is about as real as you can possibly get, because if you don't know what VATSIM is real people. You know, there are people based around these airports around the world, and you can physically talk to them the same way a real aircraft talks to ATC ground control. And that is completely 100% realistic. However, a lot of us here, you know, you're probably not the most knowledgeable when it comes to communication via aircraft. And, you know, I mean, VATSIM does have great training servers and great There's YouTube videos of what you need to say and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's not really for me. I'm not going to go that same way. But yeah, it's an option. So, we are 2.3 nautical miles from the location, from Curtin Lindsey. I do believe the message will say, yep, arrival at. So we'll kind of start throttling back now, and we will get ready for our descent into the main runway. We'll show off Curtin Lindsey. It's nothing really, you know, it's not a metropolis of an airfield. It is currently used for glider operations. Like I say, I take photography, photos at air bases, and being that Curtin Lindsey is not a million miles away from where I live, it is a location I'm looking to go to. So we're not going to descend too much more than that, because we do have Curtin Lindsey straight in front of us and we don't want to scare the locals. So there we have the runways of Curtin Lindsey. The glider base is underneath our wing, just there, and we'll fly over the hangars and go into our arrivals into Curtin Lindsey. Another good thing, especially useful at the moment due to the fact the runways are grass and will disappear as we fly away, become hard to see, is the black and white lines I have on the GTN 750 here, and these are there because I've set my arrival as Curtin Lindsey, and it gives me an idea exactly where the runways are. So let's get this aircraft set up for landing. Pitot heat is on, landing lights coming on. Obstacles we need to worry about. We do have a windmill, I do believe, up ahead of us. Shouldn't be a problem for us, but it's something we need to know about. If I remember correctly, on this approach we do have some trees right on the threshold of the runway. Flaps going down to one stage. Flaps are confirmed as down, one stage. Retrim the aircraft out. Using the GTN 750 to line up with the runway, and also trying to give a visual. And I have the runway in sight. So landing lights are down, one stage of flap, mixture is full, gear don't have to worry about. Flaps down to two stage. Runway looks nice and flat, however, if we miss the trees, we will be heading towards the hill that is about halfway down the runway. We will be going over a road, so we don't want to be going too low on the approach. runway is plenty wide enough and long enough for a Cessna. Over the road, slowly throttling back. Here comes the hill. And quite a comfortable landing as we head towards the glider hangars and buildings. Obviously the gliders are not here and flights up later, but we do have a fuel station. So normally the glider station would have the gliders all parked up in front of us, sat here, and they will use, I believe there's a winch system here. I'm not 100% if it's a winch that's connected down the runway. I believe also there is an aircraft as well, a tow aircraft. So we'll just park ourselves off to one side. Parking brake set. Mag's coming off. And that should turn off the GTN 750 as well. So, here we are at a nice sunny RAF Curtin Lindsay. The main buildings, I believe, are sat somewhere over there, the main hangars, but we'll be sat here currently at the grass strip here at the glider section. So I hope you found this video enjoyable. We will be doing more flights. I know I do try and semi-review aircraft for you, but we will be now doing some more point-to-point location flights. Maybe the Cessna 152 will be featuring in some more of those videos. Maybe I shall go into more details on the navigation system, the connection between the GTN 750 and the navigation system on board of the Cessna 152 in a future video. So, like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you've got any questions or comments regarding this aircraft or any of the scenery that I've used, please put them in below in the comment section, and I will get around to answering all the questions that I possibly can. So I will see you in the virtual skies very, very soon.